A J-Mix exclusive.
What do you think that people's biggest misconception is of your brother?
Mm, biggest misconception. I don't think people realize how intelligent he was because he was so volatile and he always appeared to be just yelling and angry. A lot of what he was saying was missed. Um, and that's just because of, how you deliver a message. But on his music, on his songs, he could deliver his messages better. But he was very intelligent. He was a reader. He did a lot of reading, and he was smarter than people think.
Are you at all surprised by the legacy that he's left behind in the body of work?
No, I knew he was great. I knew we were doing incredible things. It's just you never know how it's going to end. You can't tell the future, but I knew, our situation was a blessed one. Two brothers in the same family. It's like I look at like the NFL, like football. When I hear but like two brothers made it to the NFL, I'm like, wow, how the hell did they do that? Both of them pros, and that's how I felt with us. And I appreciated that. And when Pac got the opportunity to do films, I kind of sacrificed my solo career so we could smash together and make something bigger.
Was the East versus West Coast beef, was that real or was that media hyped? Was that just a beef between a couple people?
No, I mean, it, it was real to me. I mean, people talk like try to be politically correct, and they use it as a tool in order to calm things down. But there was a great number of people who was behind each of these artists that tensions were being raised. It wasn't made up. It wasn't fake. It was real and by some real street people. And you know, it got violent. It got intense. But Pac felt disrespected, and people were going to support Biggie. You know, but Pac was passionate about it because he heard it with his own ears. He heard them on the radio talking junk. He heard. So it's hard to argue with somebody who's heard something with their own ears. You know.
Absolutely. Do you feel people like Funkmaster Flex slam your brother to stay relevant?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of people will either slam my brother to stay relevant, or jump on the bandwagon to stay relevant. I've seen all types of things. I mean, his impact is incredible, but yeah, a lot of artists do that. You know, a lot of artists were inspired by pop, so sometimes it's legitimate. Sometimes it's true admiration, true love, true respect. A lot of times, they do it just like when Pac would appear. They would try to get a reaction. When Pac came, there would be a reaction. Say his name, you get a reaction.
Does it ever make you mad?
Um, some things do. Some things do. But no one said life would be easy. No one said there will be promised all good things. But at the end of the day, Pac's mother, my sister, will never have to work again. They'll be taken care of. And he and I are legends in a game that we love. So, we got to take the good with the bad. I'm going to count my blessings.
How do you feel about Assata Shakur being placed on the FBI's most wanted list, just like Matulu was? Do you think that that's fair?
No, it's not fair. But what needs to happen, speaking of my father, Dr. Matul Shakur, his thing right now is pushing truth and reconciliation. We need a truth and reconciliation movement in the whole country dealing with that period in America. Truth and reconciliation has worked in other countries, in Africa and other countries where, people were mistreated, abused, plotted against, held down, and it was a legitimate struggle. It became a legitimate war. The Panthers, Assata, people could have chosen not to fight. You could have chosen not to fight and just kept on taking it. But when would be the point that you make a move to change our condition? And so that's how I see the Panthers and the whole revolutionary black nationalist movements. Something had to change. Today we see and understand that had to change. So, since people are still in prison, since people are still have money on their heads due to that period in time, we should reevaluate it. Wrong was done on both sides. We know the history of J. Edgar Hoover. We know the history of COINTELPRO. We know the assassinations that were carried out under that program. Just as well as there was a lot of bad done on the other side, but it was a war. It became a war. That's why, to me, it's a legitimate war. And we need to have a truth and reconciliation so that possibly, maybe, hopefully, something could be worked out where that money is off of Assata's head. My father could get out of jail. Apologies can be made on both sides, and we can move forward. It worked in Africa. Not saying that U.S. is anything like Africa, but it would be a good place to start,
Absolutely. Are you referring to South Africa and Nelson Mandela and the reconciliation that took place when he was released?
Yes, the victims of apartheid, yes.
A J-Mix exclusive.
What up, shut up?